Hi there. So, excellent work, guys. We're really progressing very fast and very confidently. So, what is the next step is to insert the detail of the server, the insert user details in our server. So, how it will work, the logic will be the same. So, the step number 4, insert data in server. First, we need to declare the protocol which will send request and the data to the server, and we will pass the data to access PHP in order to let it communicate this data to the server. This is what we're going to do. So first sub step will be insert data and to write the protocol to insert the data in server in access PHP. Then the second sub step will be to send the data to access PHP so it can execute it. Okay, excellent. The same like we did with the third step. Okay, let's go and do this. So what's the logic we will be using is if the user wasn't found with the same email which user is trying to register, then instead of returning here this message, we will write here to step 4, send request or send request to insert the data in the server. This is what we will be writing here. So we're now going to access PHP. After this method, we'll write another public function, and the function will be to insert the data. So I will name it very simply, insert user. Then open round brackets, and here the information which we want to pass to the server are 7 points. This is email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is what we want to pass, including salt, as you remember. And we know that ID is generated automatically and date created generated automatically. The rest we got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So first we want to pass email. Second we want to pass first name. Third we want to pass last name. Fourth we want to pass password, or I would call it encrypted password. Encrypted password. Fifth we want to pass salt. Sixth we want to pass birthday, and seventh we want to pass gender. Open and close round brackets. This function will be in charge of inserting data in the server received from the user. In this case, it can be, let's say, example register.php. So first of all, we will declare SQL command. We won't be declaring a return array because we are not going to return array. Return array was declared in selecting the user, because while selecting, you remember how we are converting the chunk information into a JSON. So for that purpose, we're using return array. Okay, here we will simply use insert command. I will use double quotation marks, and don't forget semicolon at the end. So we will use now SQL language, which is insert into users and set name equals to question mark, comma, email equals to question mark, first name equals to question mark, comma, last name equals to question mark, comma. Then don't write encrypted password. So this here, just write password equals to question mark, and salt equals to question mark, oops, without dollar symbol. Make sure that these values are without dollar symbol. Then after salt we got birthday equals to question mark, and then we got gender equals to question mark. Well, what does it mean? So this is the SQL command. So this is the language of SQL, which I have explained and cleared very much in details in my another course where we were creating a Twitter app, where we were working with the emails automatically generated from the server and the rest of the stuff. So those who already enrolled, they know better, not worse than me. What does this mean? So, but let me just take you through. So this means insert into database, where the table is the table name. This is a table name, users. That one, insert in users. Set, this is the syntax of MySQL. Email means column email. Make sure that these keys are identical to the name of your columns. Email, email. First name, last name, last name. Okay, and so on. That's why we just write your password, because we got on the database written just a password. Okay, so this one is SQL language. It's a command to insert data. But why we didn't write here, why we didn't place here, let's say, email, so we can directly assign from the function reference variable, because this is one of the securest, one of the most secure way to do this, so no one can know or edit our SQL command. So it means some of the hackers, what they can do when we pass directly here, they can, for example, delete this line, and they will pass to the here, they will not pass john@yahoo.com, they may pass like here dot, and here write, let's say, select everything from database. So the email, they will pass like this, so then they will got all the information from the server. So in order to avoid this calls preventing the injection, SQL injection. So we now, when we select, whenever we insert, we need to prepare, and whenever we insert and whenever we use this method of inserting the information, we need to prepare this SQL statement to be executed. We do not execute it directly. So we just prepare it using current established connection. This con, then again arrow, prepare SQL. So we are preparing SQL for execution by checking the validity. And we want to know the result of the, or I want a result, I want to know the statement or the status of execution. I will write here, I will declare a new variable, which is statement will store the result of this. So let's check, have we received a proper statement or not? If statement is negative or false, which means if arrow, then we want to throw a message back. So for that purpose, there is a ready method to throw the message, where we write throw new exception and statement, and we want to get the error related to the statement. Don't forget semicolon at the end. So throw new exception, this method we used when we directly can refer to the arrow. Arrow, it's a sub protocol, or it's a property of prepare function. This arrow will show you the error related to preparation of the function to be executed. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want these values, we want now to replace. First, we declare the save method. After that, we prepare this for execution. After that, we are checking or receiving the statement of preparation. If the statement is false, meaning if we don't have a proper statement, then show us the arrow. In case if this won't be executed, means if the statement will be proper statement, there will be a normal statement, Then we want to continue our statement. We already got this prepared. The statement is prepared. Then now we want to bind parameters instead of this question marks. So then here we use a new protocol, ban param. So here put question marks, and these values we will be using of type string. Let's say if here would be age, for example, don't write anything, and here you will have one more column, age of type integer, which are only numbers. Then we will be using integer, first and integer, because age comes first, it's of type integer. Then we'll be using integer. The first name is string, which means varchar, then string, 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 string. Okay. So I'll bring back the email, and all of them are strings, so no integers. So the value can be of two type only, three type, I'm sorry. Type number one is integer, type number two is string, and type number three is true or false, which is a boolean. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll write 7 times string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here we will replace each of these values with the referred variables. First will be email. Please make sure that you're following the same order. Then we got first name, then comma, then we got last name. It must follow the same order. Last name, then we got password. Oops, it's encrypted password. Then we got salt, then we got birthday, then we have got gender. Don't forget semicolon here. So we are now assigning variables instead of question marks after checking the preparation and validity of the SQL command. So this is a super professional and safe method. So once we assign this values, we want to execute a statement. Statement arrow execute semicolon, and let's return a result. Result will be result of this. So for that purpose, we need to create a new variable, which is result, and result will store the result of the statement. Here we will return the result which we have received. Here, result will store the status or result of the execution of SQL command. Okay, and finally we are throwing back or returning the result to the first executor of this protocol, which is register PHP. Okay, so you can pause the video now and make sure your protocol looks exactly the same as mine. Okay, if you're sure your protocol is same, then we will go to our register PHP and we will declare the inserting function. Okay, come back to register PHP. We will come to the else method. Here we will we'll execute like we did here from access PHP file. We'll execute insert user. So here make sure, don't forget to put semicolon at the end. These variables are the variables which user passed to current file. So make sure that email is same like that one. You can just double click on this and NetBeans will show you first name, then we've got last name, then we got encrypted password, then we got salt, then we got birthday, and we got agenda. Excellent. So let's see the result of this insert. I will create a new variable which is a result, and here what we can do is we can now assign, and we can now assign, we can check, we can do now the if statement. If, open and close curly brackets, inside write if result means the result is positive. Result is positive. Okay, result is positive. Here we will throw back the user information. We want to return status, which is 200. Then we want to return the message, which is successfully registered. Then, don't forget semicolon at the end. Then we want to return all of these values. Email equals to email. Then we want to return first name equals to first name. Then we want to return I'll just copy paste it in order to make it faster for you. Here I'll write last name. Then we got password we want return back. Salt we want return back. Then birthday we will return it. Then we'll return gender definitely. And we want to echo this. And we want to disconnect once it's executed properly. Throw back the user details. Okay, excellent. So let's now, what I will do is, if we will refresh this link, if you remember, it will tell us successfully registered email address, and I will try one more time. It will tell me the email is already registered. Let's check now users. So I got now two users. One is john@yahoo.com and the second one john2@yahoo.com, and the ID is generated automatically. So the password and the salt, you see how it looks like, which is amazing. And here is the birthday, and here is agenda. So let's try to delete this, and we execute this URL link. You can check one more time this URL, which is localhost, then fbregister.php, then we'll put question mark in order to pass the values. You must pass email, you must pass, you put and first name, then you put and last name. After last name, then you put and password, then you put and birthday, then you put and gender. You execute it and it tells you that it has been successfully registered, and it throws you back all of these details except the password and the others. So, which is really brilliant, and this is how we are throwing. And now when we refresh, it shows the email is already registered and it won't insert anything more. So this is actually how the logic works. And what we can do here for result, we can throw back another message. We can write here else. Here, I'll write return as well. Okay, so here we can throw another message. I'll copy these lines. I'll status, I'll put 400. Could not insert information. couldn't insert information. And we need to echo the JSON, and always a good practice to disconnect and return. Okay guys, so here result is negative, mean inserted, and here it means couldn't insert. So this is, guys, how we are passing the information to the server. This is one of the way to do this, which is really brilliant. Now we know already how to send the information to the server. The last step of this process will be to execute this PHP from our app, from our Swift, and from our Xcode. Excellent job, guys. Congratulations.